Hello everyone, this is part 5 of What If Naruto Got a New Teacher After Training Trip, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Later on that night, Omari had taken him to the shrine to train. He smiled as Naruto summoned Gameikichi and Toma summoned a silver wolf that now stood at his side. Toma has said the wolf's name was Hintui. He was the youngest of the wolf leaders of the summoning. Hinata kept trying to summon a bigger, more matured phoenix, but she still only got little chicks. Finally, Naruto had begun helping her. He gently took her hands and went through the hand signs with her as he showed her where to pump her chakra to when summoning, and he told her how much. She tried yet again when Naruto had removed his hands, and this time the phoenix had feathers that covered its body, but it was still quite small. Hinata happily hugs Naruto for helping her get further on the summoning. Toma laughs lightly as the small phoenix attaches itself to Gameikichi's back. Naruto and Hinata quickly look to Gameikichi. Hinata hurries and takes the phoenix off of his back. "I'm so sorry, Gameikichi, did she hurt you?" Hinata said worriedly as she kneeled in front of Gameikichi and gently stroked his back where the phoenix had attached itself. A cooling sensation filled the small toad and it forgot all about what happened. "I'm fine, Hinata. Don't worry about me," he says quickly as he watches Naruto kneel next to him. "Good. I hope you weren't hurt," she whispers and smiles at the toad that smiles right back at her, then looks to its master who is now kneeling next to Hinata. "You know, Hinata, you're never going to get the summoning done if you just stand there," Toma says and folds his arms across his chest. He sighs as Hinata hurries to her feet and prepares herself to summon again. "So do I have to deliver another letter, boss?" Gameikichi asks in his normal fast voice as Naruto looks to him. "Not this time. We're going to have Hina-chan's phoenix deliver it since it's over the cold sea and I know how you hate to swim," Naruto said as the frog sighs. "Well, Jiraiya summoned me lately to deliver a letter to you, boss, but he said no after told him where you were," the small toad said as Naruto looked away. "What did the letter say?" Naruto asks as he watches Hinata try to summon again, getting no results different than before. "I'm not sure. It wasn't for you, boss. It was for someone else. I think it was for Hinata." Gameikichi looked at Hinata then looked to Naruto. "For Hina-chan. Who was it from?" Naruto asked as he looked down at the toad. "I'm not sure, boss. The letter will be here soon though. It was sent out yesterday by bird." The toad watched as Naruto sighed and folded his arms across his chest. "Something wrong, boss?" "No. Just thinking about who it could be from and why they would try to contact her," Naruto whispers as he thinks to himself of who would ever want to contact her while she was on a mission. "We'll ignore it for now. When it comes we'll deal with it then," Toma says as he walks up and places a hand on Naruto's shoulder. They both look to Hinata when they hear a loud bird cry. A phoenix about 3 feet tall stands in front of Hinata, who's now on her knees. "Wow, she did it," Toma whispers as the phoenix looks at Hinata then looks to Gameikichi then to Hintui. "Wow, Hina-chan, she's beautiful." Naruto smiles as Hinata smiles back. "Well, what do you know, I'm gone for only an hour and I come back to a phoenix that isn't a chick. Of course it isn't a full-grown summoning, but it will do." Dasara walks up and puts a hand on Hinata's shoulder. "You did well, Hinata. Now you should get some rest. You've been pushing yourself awfully hard because of this." "Hi," Hinata whispers and gets to her feet. The phoenix looks at her then looks to Dasara, knowing the connection now of why it was summoned. The phoenix disappears and Hinata looks to the boys. "Let's go back to the house." She smiles and walks out with Naruto holding her hand and Toma on her other side talking about her phoenix. Dasara watches them walk away and from her sight. They've grown attached to each other, she whispers and looks to Gameikichi and Hintui. "A little too fond of each other, but they remind me of a family. They may be a bunch of kids, but," she looks back to where they had walked off to. "I think this is going very well," she whispers and walks away towards the shrine as the two summonings follow as if they were drawn to her. They had a long bustling conversation over dinner that night. Dasara was still thinking about other things, but the three Chunin joked around with Omari and Naruto messed with his food, causing Hinata to laugh. Toma watched them and smiled, but he truly was beginning to worry about the woman who was sitting next to him. Dasara was too quiet for being happy. So, can we go into town tomorrow? Naruto asks happily. Omari smiles. I guess you can, I mean I'm not stopping you, just make sure to be good though. I don't need any of the snow ninja dragging you back here on bad behavior. Omari said as he took another bite of spaghetti. We all can go, right? Hinata asks as she looks to Toma and Naruto, then to Omari. All three of you should go together, but Dasara and I must prepare for Naruto's second part of his demon training, Omari said and looked to them, then to Dasara. Omari kept his face calm, but he knew something was wrong by how her eyes stared at the table and her food that had gone untouched. Is there more food? Naruto asks and looks at Omari. When Omari doesn't answer for about 3 minutes, Naruto asks again and waves a hand in front of his face, bringing Omari to look at Naruto. Sorry Naruto, I was thinking about something I have to do tonight. Omari apologizes as Naruto smiles. That's okay Omari-sensei. So is there any more food? Naruto asks as Hinata goes to the kitchen and cleans off her plate as Naruto sulks into the kitchen. She looks to him and frowns slightly. There's no more, I guess, she says as Naruto slowly shakes his head no. We ate the last little bit, he said he'd buy some more the next time he went into town, Naruto sighed. Naruto-kun, maybe we can get some tomorrow if you like. But it's expensive. Naruto sighs and rests his head against her back as she washes the dishes. Don't worry about the cost, I'll deal with that. Hinata smiles as the blonde's face lights up and he smiles at her. Really? He asks and he jumps up in victory as she shakes her head yes. Thank you Hina-chan. He smiles as she blushes a deep crimson. Hey you two, none of that in my kitchen. Omari walks in and Naruto quickly steps away from Hinata as they both are now blushing crimson. Omari puts his dishes in the sink as Hinata hurries to clean them to make the situation less awkward, but Omari stops her. You can do that up in your room, now go, I'll finish the dishes. But Omari-sensei I can. Hinata starts but stops when Omari makes his way to cleaning the dishes. Go Hinata, you need to relax and get some sleep if you guys want to go to town tomorrow. Omari says as she shakes her head yes, and her and Naruto exit the room. As they leave, Dasara walks in with her plates which still have quite a bit of food on them. She puts them by the sink and before she can walk away Omari takes her wrist. She looks at him. What's wrong? Your mind is very cloudy you know, he whispers. I was thinking about what will happen when the 2 years are over, she whispers. You think they'd forget you? He whispers. No, but, with Toma, should I leave him in Konoha? I don't know, I have to come back here in the end, but I don't know what to do other than that, she whispers. You know you can visit them whenever you want to, don't worry about it, alright? Alright, she whispers as he pulls her close with one hand. And if I have to, we'll move there, he whispers and smiles as she stares at him in disbelief. But you love it here, you'd really leave here and go with me? She whispers. Yeah, but I'll only move after the 2 years are up. I'll need time to pack and to transfer my ninja ranks over to Konoha. Thank you Omari, this means a lot to me. You're welcome, besides I was starting to get attached to them. He shrugs. They woke early the next day. Hinata hurried to wake up Naruto and Toma. Toma woke up easily, but she had a hard time getting Naruto up. She had used every idea any lover would do, but only one thing would work. You need to get up sleepy, she whispers. If you want to go into town, that is. She slowly backs away from him, but she's pulled down on top of him as he ravishes her mouth. Hina-chan, he whispers. She tries to catch her breath as he slowly sits up with her in his lap. Let's go, he whispers. She smiles and gets off of him and hurries to get ready as she rushes downstairs. She looks around for Dasara and Omari, but neither of them answered when she knocked on the doors and the house was empty. She slowly went to the door only to find a letter on the ground with the Hyuga seal on it. What's this? She whispers as she opens it and pulls out a letter. She slowly begins to read it. After she's done, she drops it to the ground. Naruto comes bounding down the stairs and spots Hinata by the door, and he notices the letter on the floor. Hina-chan, are you okay? He whispers as he slowly approaches her. He goes over to her, and before he could reach for her or the letter, she hugged his chest tight and buried her face into it. What's going on? He whispers, and she looks up at him with tears in her eyes. Nejini-san, she whispers. Naruto gently strokes her hair. What about Neji, Hinata? He asks as she buries her face in the crook of his neck. Neji-ni-san is G getting, married, Hinata whispers. Married, Naruto says and tilts Hinata's face up. He tears of joy had come to a stop and she was smiling slightly. To who? He asks quietly. To Tenten-san, Hinata whispers. Wait, Tenten's marrying Neji. Naruto quickly picks up the letter and reads it. They're waiting for us to get back to have to wedding. And he finally got the courage to say it, good for him. Naruto said as he folded up the letter and put it back in the envelope. This must be the letter Gameikichi was talking about earlier. I can't wait. I get to help pick out Tenten-san's dress and I get to be a bridesmaid. Hinata exclaims cheerfully. Naruto smiles and hugs Hinata tight. You'll make a wonderful bridesmaid. Just make sure you keep Tenten calm as long as you can. He laughs lightly as she does also. Don't worry, I'll do my best. She smiles up at him as Toma comes down the stairs. What's going on? He asks and looks at them. Hinata-chan's cousin is getting married. We got the letter today. Naruto said as he wrapped an arm around Hinata's waist and turned to face Toma. Well then, congratulations. Now let's get out of here before they get back and make us stay. Toma says as he heads for the door. Hinata and Naruto smile at each other and follow after Toma hand in hand. The town was as Toma has described it to them on the way there. For being a small country, the town was full of people. Of course there wasn't as many people as there was in Konoha, but there was still enough to fill the streets. Hinata watched as they entered, her eyes taking in the surroundings, wondering how they could have this many people in such a cold place. Naruto held her hand tight as she slowly wandered around, pointing out things she had never seen before. She smiles back at the boys as Toma explains the history and whatever Hinata points to. Naruto smiles when they walk into a weapon shop. The weapons there were different and they had some weird characteristics that he had never seen before. Toma had explained them only to get a confused look from the blonde. You know, this place has some weird stuff, Naruto whispers as he picks up a larger kunai than usual, which is considerable lighter than the normal kunai. Wow, this is cool. He whispers as Hinata peers over his shoulder to look at what he has. We have some of those in the Hyuga house, she whispers and looks to the windmill shurikens hanging on the wall with weird-looking blades on it, making it look more s. You know, that shuriken is one of a kind here in this village. It's actually from the stone country. Toma said as Hinata looked to him for an explanation. Let's get it. Naruto cheered. You can't. Toma stated simply. Why not? Naruto asks disappointed. The blonde frowns when Toma sighs at the question and looks to both Naruto and Hinata. Because since it's one of a kind, the store is keeping it as a keepsake from the other village. If you want one, you can get one in Stone Country when we go there for training. Toma says and Hinata smiles. Well, I'm going to move on to the next store, you two. She whispers and Naruto looks to her. I'll come too, Hina-chan. He cheers as he follows her out with Toma following closely behind. They enter the clothing store to find heavy jackets, shirts, and pants among all the racks in the front. Hinata starts looking at the coats and Naruto comes up behind her and he points out a tight black coat with shuriken pockets and a fuzzy hood. You should get that one, Hina-chan. I mean, it won't hide your figure and it's like the normal Chunin and Junin clothes. You want me to get since it doesn't hide me from the world, and that's all right. She looks back at him and he gives her his trademark grin. I guess I could get this one. She whispers. Naruto cheers and some of the other customers do the whole or thing while others don't even notice. Toma smiles at his two comrades. Let's go get something to eat. Toma says and Naruto quickly looks to him, wanting food more than anything at that moment. Can we have that spaghetti stuff? Naruto asks Toma. When Toma shakes his head yes, Naruto cheers and pulls Hinata out of the store after she's done making her purchase. Before they knew it, they were in a little restaurant eating spaghetti and meatballs. Naruto hummed as he ate, happily looking at Hinata and Toma, who took their time with their food. As soon as we leave this country, you won't be having any more of this, you know that, right, Naruto? Toma says as the blonde bows his head in defeat. Hinata watches as he sighs about not being able to have it, as if ramen was taken away from him forever. Don't worry, Naruto, Hinata whispers. Naruto looks up to her and watches as she smiles warmly. We'll find some way to get it to come to Konoha. do you really think we can get it to come to Konoha? He asks. Of course, even if I have to bring it there myself and cook it. She smiles as he jumps out of his, getting all the other customers' attention. Noticing he's attracting attention, he sits back down and eats his food in silence, getting a laugh out of Hinata and Toma. Toma took off after they ate to go buy something that he thought Sakura would like as a souvenir from the country. Hinata and Naruto wandered around on their own hand in hand for a while, looking at the things around the town like the icy white blossom trees, which was unusual to see. They had been told that it was a jutsu that made the trees like that. Hinata liked what she saw and actually got to learn how to do it. Naruto watched as his girlfriend made a withered tree blossom with the white flowers, the petals falling around them. Hinata smiles to Naruto and he blushes slightly as she does also. Naruto-kun, we should move on and go see the rest of the town, she whispers as he smiles and holds her close with an arm around her waist. You're right, Hina-chan, let's move on. He smiles and walks away with her still held tight. Let's go see the fountain, I've heard all about it. Hinata looks up at him and he smiles down at her. Sure, let's go see this fountain of hers, but in order for us to truly enjoy it we need to capture the moment. He said and laughed lightly when she gave him a puzzled look. Capture the moment. But they don't have any cameras here, do they? She asks as he stops. I'm going to go find one. Naruto ran off, leaving her there alone. She looked around and noticed a small shop. She entered it and found a beautiful picture frame with beads and a shuriken on it. She smiles and purchases it, thinking it would be perfect for some pictures along with a few others. She got two for there and she thought about how she could buy one in each country. She had one from the sand back at the house and she smiled at her idea. When she emerged from the store and looked around to find Naruto running towards her. Found one. He says out of breath while holding up the camera in his hands. She smiles. Well then, shall we be off? She asks and he smiles. Yeah, let's go. He takes her hand as they head off to the fountain. The day went by slowly for a while. They had seen tons of things such as the fountain that Hinata mentioned, which was made of ice that still shot out water. They sat at the fountain to take the picture. A man passing by helped by taking the camera and taking it for them. The man laughed lightly as Hinata blushed a deep crimson from the embarrassment that Naruto had enjoyed. After that incident, Naruto was very curious about the fountain and had accidentally chipped off a piece. Hinata said he was lucky that no one noticed at all, since everyone was already staring at them for the picture, and he smiled to her, giving her a grin. The people said it wasn't ice, it just looked like it and felt like it sometimes. They said it was a rare crystal you could only find in Snow Country in the eastern mines. Naruto had been hiding the piece he got from Hinata the rest of the time there. They went down to the beach where the water still moved from the warmth of the sea. Hinata sits on the beach and looks out over the water. What's wrong, Hina-chan? Naruto asks as he sits next to her. I guess I'm worried, she whispers, worried about going back. She stares out to sea as he looks to her. About whether my father will accept me or not, of whether he will allow me to be with you or not. Hina-chan, he can't tear us apart. I won't let him. Naruto smiles warmly as he tries to get her to smile, but he fails terribly. He looks out to the sea like she is. You know, I wonder what everyone else is doing. Maybe, just maybe, they're thinking about us. He whispers. Maybe when we get back they'll be able to accept us, even me. They should accept you, I mean you'll be Hokage someday, the Rokudaime. She looks to him. Naruto-kun, do you really think they'll allow us to be together? She asks and he slowly looks to her. He smiles, and as he does Hinata blushes slightly. Of course they will, they'll have to, since we'll be strong enough to kick all their asses. He laughs after he gets a small giggle out of her from the comment. Thank you, Naruto-kun, she whispers and lays her head on his shoulder. Quote, she did something all right, the ninja says in a deep and low voice that cackles a little. Here's the plan. Toma said. You turn yourself in and accept your punishment, or me and my friend Naruto give you your punishment now and kick your ass. Toma growls. Well then I'll take option 2 even though I know you can't touch me, the ninja laughs. He feels a kunai against his back and his eyes go wide, then he closes them. Hinata rushes over to the woman and begins to heal her as Toma blocks her from the man. The ninja opens his eyes and looks to Toma and Hinata. He looks over to Naruto. The girl tried to use genjutsu, no doubt. But it doesn't work on me, sweetie, he laughs. I'll K you first darling, then I'll go for your friends. The ninja laughs. You won't be touching Hina-chan. I'll K you if you do. Naruto growls as Hinata ignores what's going on and goes back to healing the woman. Ready, set, go. Toma shouts as Toma and Naruto disappear. Before the citizens know it, they all see Naruto and Toma shoving kunais against the ninja's kunais as the ninja shoves them back. Hinata has a man carry the woman away as she quickly evacuates everyone from the area and into buildings and houses. She hurries back to the square to find Naruto pushing his kunai against the man's right-hand kunai and Toma doing the same on the left. The ninja disappears and Toma and Naruto quickly look around. Hinata activates her Byakugan and looks around. Above, she yells and they both look up to find the ninja coming towards them, but they jump back to dodge the attack. The ninja growls and notices Hinata and the Byakugan eyes she has. A Hyuga, the ninja whispers and looks back to the boys who are both doing hand signs. A big lightning dragon comes from Naruto while a dragon of pitch black comes from Toma. Both of them clash against the man and creates a big explosion. When the smoke clears, the man is gone. Toma behind you. Hinata yells. Before Toma can turn around or react to anything, a foot s into his back and makes him go flying into the statue. He lies in the statue at the feet of the wolf limp. Hinata, get Toma. Naruto yells as he blocks the ninja from Toma's limp body. Hinata nods and hurries over to Toma and she begins checking his injuries. Hinata looks to Naruto, who's got 7 clones surrounding the man and they're all thrusting kunais at the man, but he keeps dodging. The ninja destroys all 7 clones with one swing and punches Naruto in the face, causing him to fall back to the ground. He groans and goes to get up but can't. The man goes to throw a kunai at him, but before they know it, Hinata stands in front of Naruto and she holds tight to the man's wrist, forcing chakra into it, causing the man to drop the kunai. Never attack my comrades when they are down. She growls at the man. She shoves him back. Careful Hina-chan, he's really strong in taijutsu, Naruto says to the girl who's shielding him. Don't worry, Yuuken is taijutsu. Hinata drops down into her Yuuken stance as the ninja cracks his neck and his knuckles. He smirks as he looks her up and down. So I finally get to face a Hyuga, how interesting, I mean I get to fight a very Hyuga. You're nothing like what I've been told, they say the Hyugas are ugly people but you're beautiful, the ninja says as he whistles lightly. Flattery gets you nowhere, she whispers. Now come at me with all you've got. She readies herself as she thinks about her 2 comrades who were injured, the poor woman who had nothing to do with this, and about her lover who lay behind her. His face was bruised, already dark and blue. She angered at this meant the man was strong, but she'd have to be stronger for them and everyone in this village. This was her first challenge. Hinata watched carefully as the ninja circled her, thinking he would try something at any moment. He charged at her and dodged his punch to the left, then the right. She quickly dodged as he tried to trip her. He knew that the Hyuga's weakness was fighting in the air, but he knew nothing of Hinata. He tried to hit her in the air and she gracefully dodged and landed on the back edge of a bench. How do you do that? Hyugas aren't supposed to be able to fight in the air. He yells confusingly at Hinata, who only smirks. I'm not like other Hyugas. She says simply. I don't believe you. He growls and charges at her. She dodges his attack and front flips over him and lands behind him. She shoves her finger in the chakra point just below his ribs. He groans and holds his side as he tries to stay standing. She shifts back into her Yuuken stance as he readies himself once more. Toma slowly opens his eyes and watches as Hinata remains calm as the ninja circles her. Naruto watches closely and then looks to Toma. Thank God you're awake. We thought you'd be put into a coma or something like that, Naruto said as he looked back to Hinata. He got you pretty good in the face, Toma said as he watched Hinata. Shut up. Naruto growls as he slowly gets to his feet. As soon as Hinata needs help, I'm going in, he says and brushes himself off. You stay back, you're a lot worse than me. Well then your friends are to their feet, the ninja says, hoping she would look to them. I see them, don't think your little looking trick would work, she says as she watches him closely. I don't need to look at them to see them, you forget the Byakugan can see 360 degrees around me without me having to look myself, she says as she watches him move to the left then to the right. The ninja charges at her again, hoping he would catch her off balance, but she dodged yet again and lodged yet another finger into her side. The ninja stumbled back and groaned lightly. A little girl pokes her head out from around the corner. The man spots her and slowly moves towards the girl without making it obvious. Hinata watches him and doesn't notice the girl. The ninja uses a smoke bomb. Hinata hurries and does a wind jutsu to clear the smoke to reveal the man holding the little girl in one arm and a kunai to her neck with his other hand. Admit defeat and I'll let the little one live, the ninja growls lightly. The little girl begins to fuss. She begins to kick and scream for help as tears run down her cheeks. Hinata stares at the man. Her memories from when her mother was still alive flood into her mind. She remembers being K by the Cloud Ninja and about how she was almost K in the same situation that this little girl was in. Hinata whispers as she watches the little scream and cry as Hinata did once. Hina-chan, you've got to save her. It's your job to protect the people of this village while you are a temporary resident of this land. Naruto yells to Hinata, who he can tell is trembling lightly. He noticed that she must have lived through it before, for she could only stare at the man. Naruto took a step towards them, but the kunai moved closer to the girl's throat. You move any closer and I'll K you, the man growls and holds the girl tight, which calmed her fussing a little, for she could no longer move her arms. Leave her alone. Hinata whispers. Let her go and I'll admit defeat. She whispers and bows her head. The ninja smirks and looks to Naruto, then back to Hinata. Then come over here, my sweet, you're going to come with me for a while, he says as he watches Hinata slowly come towards him. Naruto's hands ball up into tight fists as he watches his girlfriend slowly walk towards the other shinobi. She stands next to him as he releases the little girl. Hina-chan. Naruto runs over to her and hugs her tight. She doesn't move, she only allows herself to be held tight. He frowns but holds her tight as he feels her loosen up and collapse against him. She buries her face in his chest, but she stays quiet. Toma watches and slowly gets to his feet. Naruto looks at him and nods, and Toma slowly starts into town to tell the village the threat is over. Hina-chan, you going to be alright? Naruto whispers as he rests his head against hers. I'm fine now. She whispers. I was just thinking. And you know you dropped your guard completely while you did. What happened? He tilts her head up so she looks up at him. When he saw the tears rolling down her cheeks, his heart sunk to the floor. But she could have been K. Hinata whispers, it could have been like when I was caught. Quote. Hinata looks down to the ground, but Naruto tilts her head up again. She was like me when I was younger. She looks into his eyes, seeing the love as the tears slowly came to a stop. When my mother was alive, we went to the Cloud Village. When we returned home only a few months after I was K. They caught the Cloud Ninja before he could escape the village, but in order to get me back, my mother had to make the same decision I had to make. But in her case, she lost her life for mine. Hinata, it wasn't the same. It wasn't a Cloud Ninja. You and the girl are fine, and in my eyes you could never do the wrong thing. Only good things come out of what you do. He smiles warmly as she smiles slightly. Well then, are you feeling better now, Hinata-chan? Toma asks as he slowly approaches them. Naruto holds her close still as she relaxes. The people are grateful, but I think we should start heading back. Dasara and Omari won't be done setting up till late, so we can do something back at the house. Train, relax, even watch a movie if you want to. Toma says and turns away. Come on, he walks away. You want me to carry you, Hinata-chan? Naruto asks and looks to her. Please, she whispers as he turns and she gets on his back. She holds tight to his neck as he grabs hold of her legs and holds tight as he goes after Toma. He catches up to him after a good 10 minutes. They leave the village and about halfway there Toma looks to Naruto and Hinata. I knew that would happen. Toma said to Naruto and looked ahead. That what would happen? Naruto asks and Toma smiles to himself. Hinata-chan, she's fast asleep. Toma says and looks back at Naruto, who is now looking at Hinata. Naruto then looks to Toma and smiles. I didn't even notice. She was so quiet, so I thought she was thinking, but I guess I was wrong. Very wrong. She must be really tired. Toma approaches the house first and unlocks the door and opens it for Naruto as he goes inside. Naruto slowly goes upstairs and lays Hinata on her bed and covers her up. What you watching? Naruto asks and sits next to him, eyeing the television. Not sure. This was what was on when I turned on the TV. Toma said and looked to Naruto. She tucked in. Yeah, she didn't even wake up. She didn't move at all, she must be pretty tired. Naruto whispers and quickly glances to Toma, then back to the TV. This show is weird, he mumbles. Omari watches it. It reminds me of some weird novel. Toma groans as a young couple comes on the screen as if it were about romance. It hit Naruto then when the couples were focused in on. It was from those damn books. Those are from Pervy Sage's books. Naruto exclaims and Toma looks at him. What? Jiraiya-sensei makes those damn Come Come Paradise books. Those two are characters from them. Naruto says while pointing to the screen. Wow, that's pretty weird. Wait, how do you know that? Toma gives him a questioning look. He made me reading them while training with him. Naruto sighs and bows his head. I had nothing to read and he wanted me to train while reading to keep my eyes off of what I was doing, so he made me read those books. Naruto looks up to Toma. Kakashi-sensei always asks when the new one is coming out since Jiraiya-sensei, Pervy Sage, tells me about the release date all the time. I see, that sure is interesting to know. I found that Kakashi-sensei likes them when I trained with him, he always trains with that damn book. So the copycat likes romance books by none other than one of the 3 legendary Sannin. Well, your life seems pretty interesting. I can't wait to meet all of them and your friends. Toma smiles. Naruto quickly looks to him and smiles. Wait, you're going to actually enter my village this time? Naruto asks. Of course, I promised both Sakura and you guys that I would. Dasara said it would be okay, but more likely towards the ending of our training. Toma groans as Naruto pats him on the back hard. Cool. I can introduce you to Kakashi-sensei and Ero Sennin. Naruto cheers as Toma looks down. What did I get myself into? Toma sighs lightly so Naruto doesn't notice. The dreams wouldn't stop, she hated this and no one would ever understand. Hinata tossed in turn in bed, the 2 men downstairs unaware of what was going on. The memories flooding back to her in the sleep that she thought might be peaceful for once. She dreamed of her mother, of how things were before Hinata's dream. She looked in the mirror and spun around gracefully. Being the Hyuga heir meant everything to her and she loved her life. Her mother and father said that she was the splitting image of them. Her mother's beautiful looks and her soft heart, her father's power and his confidence. Hinata Hyuga was happy. She began to wander the village when she turned 3. She waved to the people as she walked beside her mother. Festivals had to be her favorite time for she got to see all her friends. She had been hanging out with Kiba a lot lately since he lived close by. Hinata finally was able to go out on her own at the age of 4, she had traveled the whole village meeting new people and greeting anyone who walked by her. That's when she saw the young blonde sitting at training ground 7, alone. She wondered why he was alone, but when she went to go near him a man pulled her away and said not to go near the demon. She didn't understand, but the next night the boy was still there. Finally she snuck by the people and slowly approached the boy with her basket held tight, the hot food inside hidden by a white cloth. Hello, she whispers as she stops only 2 feet away from him. He quickly looked to her and noticed that she was his age, not only that but he had seen her before with the Hyugas. Hi. He whispers and looks up to her. She stares at him and then looks into his eyes, only seeing fear and loneliness. This made her heart sink and she kneeled next to him. Why are you out here alone? She asks curiously as he looks to the ground. I have no family, he whispers. Hinata watches as tears well up in his eyes but they don't fall. She hugs him tight so his head rests on her shoulder. His eyes go wide with surprise as the young Hyuga holds him tight. I'm sorry, you're alone and yet I have so much. Please allow me to help you, maybe even be your friend. She whispers and drops her basket to the ground as she feels his tears run on her shirt. Shush, it's okay now, she whispers as she strokes his hair lovingly. After a few minutes he looks up at her, she smiles warmly as the blonde smiles happily. Are you hungry? She asks as she sits next to him. Yeah, he exclaims happily as she uncovers the food in the basket to reveal some chicken and some hot steamy vegetables. Go ahead and help yourself. Why are you helping me so much, miss? He looks down then looks up at her. Hinata, call me Hinata. I wanted to help you since I could only give to those who need help and I believe you did. She smiles as he gives her a wide grin. You guessed right then, Hinata, I'm Naruto by the way. He smiled as she handed him a plate and fork as he grabbed some of the food and began to eat as though he hadn't in years. She smiled as he ate, taking small bites herself. After they had finished eating, they had told each other about themselves, but as it began to get late, Hinata said she had to go. With this, she bowed to show respect to him as he embraced her. She blushed lightly at this, unaware of what was going on and why her cheeks felt so hot. When he let go of her, she ran off home before he could ask about her red cheeks. As soon as Hinata shut the door, she was embraced by her mother. Her mother's long silky black hair falling over her shoulders onto Hinata and the floor. Tears rolled down her mother's cheeks as she held Hinata tight. Mom, what's wrong? Hinata whispers, but her mother says nothing to what her daughter said. Mom, please talk to me. Hinata's eyes well up with tears as her mother doesn't respond. She hears yelling in the other room and her cousin Neji runs out of the room and down the hall. Hinata, you mustn't ever leave again without me. Her mother whispers and strokes her hair softly. Hinata closes her eyes, wondering if she may ever be able to see her friend again. I want you by me at all times. She whispers and gently lifts Hinata up into her arms and held her close. Mama, I didn't do anything wrong, I swear. Hinata said to defend herself, but her mother said nothing as her father approached them. Hinata, you mustn't ever see that boy again, he said and looked to his wife, who only looked to him, worry filling her eyes. Why not, Daddy? Naruto would never hurt me, Hinata said as she watched her father look to her mother, then look back to Hinata. Hinata, he is very dangerous and we don't want to lose you. He's my friend. He'd never hurt me. Hinata cries. She quickly got out of her mother's grip and ran to her room and locked herself inside. Hinata's mother hurried to go after her, but Hiashi held her back and held onto her tight. Leave her. She must sort it on her own, he whispers to calm his wife. Hira, she'll be fine, you should get some rest, you're exhausted, he whispered in her ear and led her to their room so she could relax and left her in peace. He went to the garden to relax as he heard a scream come from Hinata's room. He rushed to her room and flung the door open. It was unlocked for some strange reason. He looked around to find the window busted and the room empty. Hinata, he yells as he hurries to get the guards and his wife. Hinata awoke as a strange man carried her away from her home. She remembered what her parents had said and about how she missed Naruto already. She also remembered as she went to write a letter to the young blonde that a man busted in. She tried to fight back, but in the end all she could do was scream before he carried her into the black night. She struggled in his grip, but he tightened it as he hurried towards the practice fields. Hinata began to cry as the man stopped in practice field 7 to catch his breath. Little did the man know that there was a blonde boy watching from the darkness of the trees. His eyes scanned the man, but when they found the young Hyuga in his arms, the blue eyes widened. Let me go, Hinata cried, but the man threw her to the ground to shut her up. She curled up into a ball as she cried, holding her throbbing arm to stop the pain. Shut up, you brat, the man roared. Hinata looked up at the man to find a cloud symbol on a headband around the man's waist. She buried her face in her shoulder as he yelled at her again to shut her up, but it didn't work. The man looked to the bushes as he heard the blonde move in them. The man watched the bushes closely, not noticing the young Hyuga slowly crawling away. She whimpered when she landed on her arm, which caught the man's attention. He quickly looked to her and began to approach her. He hurried towards her, ready to kick the girl to get her to stop moving. He felt his foot hit her, but when he looked down to the girl, the young blonde held her tight. The man could tell that the boy took the hit instead as he held the crying girl tight. The man pulled out a kunai and thought about how he could kill the boy who interfered with his plans. Naruto, get out of here. You could get hurt, Hinata whispered to him, but Naruto only shielded her and held tighter. No, you're my friend. You help me, now I'll help you. Both of them closed their eyes tight, afraid of what was going to happen. As a minute passed, they opened their eyes to find Hinata's mother, Hira. She kicked the man back from the children as Hinata stared up at her mother in terror. Her mother was hurt and it was her fault. Mama, Hinata cried as her mother looked down to them. She looked back to the man as he got to his feet. Boy, I thought as the vessel you would cause nothing but disaster. ... But you saved my little girl and I owe you for that. But I have a favor to ask of you, her mother said to them. Naruto nodded his head. Good. Now please hide with Hinata so you don't get hurt. This may get messy, she whispered as the blonde hurried to his feet. He helped Hinata up and pulled her away. Hinata struggled to get out of his grip but it didn't work. She watched as her mother slowly disappeared from view. Her father had found them only hours later. He wanted to separate Hinata from Naruto's arms but her didn't have the heart to. Hiashi had ended the fight but he was too late to save Hira. He found her on the ground and he wished not to tell his daughter. He had given Naruto some money for helping them but he said he was never to tell Hinata of the incident again. Hinata didn't wake for 3 days. Her shock from what had happened and her mother's death had been too much for her. Hiashi only fought against the people and the cloud who had accused him for someone who had done nothing to deserve it. Dream ended. Hinata quickly sat up and looked around. It was dark outside and the moon shined in through the window. She wiped the sweat from her brow as she remembered hearing the screams from her mother as Naruto had told her it was all right. She thought of how she knew Naruto back then. She hadn't remembered it. She knew her memories were erased. Even him. She hurried to her feet as she heard the TV downstairs. She hurried downstairs to find Naruto sitting on the couch watching a game show. Toma was gone. She thought about it a second and she knew he was in bed already. Naruto looked to her and set the remote down. Are you feeling any? I remember. She whispers and he looks to her confused. I remember when I first met you at Training Ground 7. I remember the chicken and the conversation we had. I remember everything of when you protected me when I was K and how my mother was K. She had you take me away so I couldn't see it. But I could hear it. I remember when you comforted me when I heard her screams. I remember it all now. Hinata-chan. He whispers. You needn't explain yourself or apologize. I needed to remember on my own. I thank you Naruto-kun, you saved me back then. You guys shouldn't do that in the living room of all places. Go to your room if you want to get intimate with each other. Toma says and looks at the two blushing Konoha shinobi. I mean it. But we never were going to. Hinata whispered and looked to the floor. That's what it looked like to me. I don't care but you should really not do any of that stuff in the living room. Toma says and Naruto looks to the floor in embarrassment knowing that Toma was right completely. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.